Hi, this is Abby Glassenberg, and you're listening to the While She Naps podcast. I'm going to do a couple of special episodes. These are actually rebroadcasts of some Google Hangout interviews I conducted over the last couple of years. Before I really had a podcast, I still wanted to interview people, and so I used Google Hangout to be able to talk to some CEOs and some movers and shakers in the creative entrepreneurship field, and posted those videos on my blog. And so now I've gone ahead and stripped away the video portion and just left the audio portion, and I'm going to post those as special podcasts so that more people can hear them via iTunes and that sort of thing. So we're going to start with this first one today with Jon Crawford, and I hope you enjoy it. And you'll notice the sound quality is a little bit different just because it is recorded via a Google Hangout, but I still think it's a great interview. And there'll be a couple more to come. So thank you so much, and I hope you like these special episodes of the While She Naps podcast. Hi, my name is Abby Glassenberg, and today I'm going to be speaking with Jon Crawford, who is the founder and CEO of Storenvy, an e-commerce website for handmade businesses. Hi, Jon.
Hey there.
Thanks so much for talking with me.
You got it.
Okay, so to get started, Storenvy has been described as the Tumblr for e-commerce. So what is Storenvy, and why is it described that way?
Well, it's described that way for a whole bunch of reasons, but I think the main reason is that it sort of works in the same way Tumblr does. So if you set up a Tumblr blog, you get your own blog. You can make it look however you want. You can pick up a bunch of themes. You can use your own URL, and it looks like it's your own blog, your own website. But then anything that you post to your Tumblr blog is also on tumblr.com, where people can follow you and see your posts, and all one destination. And over time, people really have stopped going to the individual blogs, and they now just go to tumblr.com because that's where they can kind of connect with all of the publishers that they follow. And we do the same thing for stores. So we give you your own store. It's customizable. You can edit everything or use, just like easy customization tools. But then anything that you add to your store is also put into our big marketplace where you can browse across almost 30,000 stores all in one place. So another reason that it's compared to Tumblr is because we focus, just like Tumblr, we focus on usability and sort of getting up and running quickly versus necessarily making everything as powerful as possible. So, you really have to choose between, power and ease of use and usability. And we decided to go on the usability end because so much e-commerce software kind of looks like an airplane cockpit when you get in there for the first time. And it's just very confusing to people that aren't e-commerce experts. We don't think people should have to be e-commerce experts. They just should be able to, create, produce amazing things, and we want to empower them to do that without having to watch a webinar or hire a designer or anything like that. So, Tumblr very much has a lot of the same DNA around publishing. You don't necessarily want to customize it and do all the plug-in architecture and widgets and stuff that WordPress gives you the ability to do. You just want to post a funny picture of your cat or, a conversation you had with somebody or a quick thought, and it sort of lowers the barrier to entry of blogging. And when we do the same thing for stores. And I think the third reason is that we have a lot of just younger users, and Tumblr has a lot of young users. But we certainly have people of all ages. But I think Tumblr in a lot of ways is sort of the next generation of blogging, and I think people think we're sort of like the next generation of stores. So the people that have said that at least. So that's kind of why people make that comparison.
Interesting. And speaking of the next generation, so I have had a shop on Etsy since June 2006, believe it or not. And I'm still there because the traffic really can't be beat. But I do struggle with the inability to customize the look and feel of my store to reflect my brand. And I also feel like people can really easily click away and never come back. It's just so easy to get lost on Etsy, both as a buyer and as a seller. So I'm wondering how you feel Storenvy differs from Etsy in particular.
Well, believe it or not, we actually don't spend a lot of time comparing or competing with Etsy, because Etsy is great and they've done a good job. They've done a great job capturing the handmade market. Sort of the key differences between us and Etsy, for anybody who's kind of trying to make a decision, first of all, we don't necessarily think people should be only on one platform. It's the internet. People have, a Twitter and a Facebook and a Tumblr, and, it's basically another channel for social media to get more exposure. So, hey, be on everything. But, if you are trying to just narrow down to one thing or just kind of understand where Storenvy fits in, we're not just handmade. In fact, we don't necessarily try to just be handmade. The handmade community has gravitated towards us because there are so many people producing handmade stuff. But there's nothing about Storenvy that says you have to just make it yourself. We certainly have a lot of people that aren't making things themselves. That's not core to our value set. We just want to make it easy for anyone to sell online, regardless if they made it or not. So we've got bands selling CDs, or people manufacturing iPhone cases and importing them. We certainly have people doing photography, artwork, stuff that they've created. But say a T-shirt designer gets big and he wants to mass produce his T-shirts. It's my understanding you wouldn't be able to sell that on Etsy, and we have a lot of T-shirt companies. So there's quite a few businesses out there that you wouldn't be able to sell on Etsy. And the other big differentiator is that they don't give you a storefront, and that's really where our business started. Like, we started with make it the easiest way to get your own independent individual storefront that looks like your own website, and the marketplace is sort of the next evolution of that. So it's not necessarily like, hey, let's make a marketplace to compete with somebody like Etsy. It's like, wow, a marketplace makes a store platform stronger. So if we set out to be a great store platform, the marketplace component is sort of like the cherry on top for that, because we believe that the ultimate feature of a store platform is more sales, and we're the only store platform that actually gets customers more sales.
Okay, so following up on that, let's talk a little bit about the social aspect of Storenvy. So how does the social aspect work? I know it's sort of like another layer on top of having individual storefronts that are completely separate companies, but it does increase traffic and bring new buyers in. So tell us how that works.
Sure. So, Storenvy is the only store platform and marketplace combined. And so that's what we consider to be kind of the real sort of next generation of e-commerce. People really want their own store, but as soon as they set up their own store, then they have to figure out, how do I get more customers? How do I get people to actually come to my store? That's incredibly difficult, and it's very expensive when you get into things like buying advertising and having to do email newsletters and all that stuff. So we realized that was just not something we even really wanted people to have to worry about. So we created the marketplace, and the marketplace is kind of how we think about shopping. Now, it all starts with the fact that we have 15 or 20,000 or more products listed every week. Okay, well, that's too many for us as a small team to go through and find the best stuff and put it on the homepage. So what we decided to do is make it a crowd curated, a community curated experience. So the way everything works is, if you were shopping on the site, we ask you to log in. When you log in, it follows all of your Facebook friends and a bunch of people that we think have similar tastes to you. And then every interface that you see then is customized to your taste and what the community thinks is cool right now. So if you're logged in and you go to the homepage, it's a feed of what people are envying. And envies are our version of a like or something like that. And so the thing that's getting the most envies right now, like today, this second, is what's going to be at the top of every page. So if you go to women's, whatever is at the top is what is hot right now. Envy's purchases all combined into like what's hot right now across hundreds and hundreds of thousands of products. And so your homepage is your feed, and your feed is what your friends think is cool. So the people you're connected with on the marketplace are anything that they're envying or buying. You can also follow a store and get updates when they release new things, and that's in your feed. So very much trying to create a customized shopping experience for you as the shopper. We launched the new marketplace less than 2 months ago, and there's already been a million envies. So this is really starting to work here, and sales have gone through the roof for our merchants. People doing tens of thousands of dollars through the marketplace at times. And remember, these are all sales that they wouldn't have gotten because it wasn't traffic going to their store. So, if you're looking for a store platform, a place to set up your own store, this is going to offer you something extremely unique because it's going to actually drive customers to you.
Right. So my average Etsy bill right now is $70 a month, which is over $800 a year. That's my most significant business expense in a year. So Storenvy is free.
Yep.
How are you free, and how are you making money?
So, like a lot of internet companies, we are venture backed. So what that means is that I cooked up this crazy idea about starting this new e-commerce concept and got a bunch of people to start using it and got the thing built and whatnot. And then I went and talked to investors and got them excited about what we were doing. So, we had some just top tier investors put money into the company, people that have funded companies like, Twitter and Facebook and Groupon and, other huge companies participated in our seed round. And so that gave us the opportunity to not have to focus on revenue from day one. Gave us opportunity to build the product, talk to customers, figure out what works, what doesn't work, and sort of delay the money piece. That being said, we absolutely have a business model, and that's going to start sort of becoming a bigger deal soon. So we have two parts of our business that there's money paying to Storenvy. One, if you want to upgrade your store, you can do that. So we have 2 upgrades right now if you are a store owner that you can spend money on. If you want to give out coupon codes, if you want to use your own domain name, those both have a recurring monthly fee. It's like $5 a month, so it's not very much. And then over time, we'll roll out a whole bunch more paid upgrades, themes, email tools, all kinds of stuff. And each one of these will have a monthly fee affixed to them. But if you want to use it for free, absolutely do that. There's no punishment for not paying. You have a totally unlimited store. The only thing you have to upgrade for is give out coupon codes and use your own domain name. So everything else is 100% free. And then the other piece of the puzzle is that within the next few months, and we announced this when we relaunched our marketplace in December, that we're going to release a sort of revenue share that happens on sales just that happen in the marketplace. So if you're driving traffic to your own store, you keep all the money from those sales. And so much of this traffic goes to the stores. Most of the traffic goes to the stores right now. So if that's how you're generating your sales, that's awesome. You keep all the money. But if you make a sale through the marketplace, then we're going to take a certain percentage of that, and we're still sorting that out. And those are all sales that you wouldn't have gotten that we drove for you. So the reason that we're introducing that is because we really want to give ourselves as a business an incentive to drive you more sales. So if we make money when you make money, we're more likely to figure out how to make you money. So, emails that go out to people full of awesome stuff, tuning up our system to where people see the stuff that actually sells and you'll make more sales because we're putting it in front of the right people that actually like your stuff. So if we as a company have a reason to, a financial incentive to make you more sales, we're going to do a better job at making you more sales.
Interesting. It's really interesting to hear how your plans for the future and for turning this into a sustainable platform that will, can make money and continue to be able to hire great people and add great features. I think that's really key.
Yeah, two things. One, I've kept the team really small, but we're actually getting ready to scale quite a bit and get 2 or 3 times bigger than we are. And so that's going to be really fun. We're going to be able to build much faster, and we get support requests or feature requests every day on stuff that we wish that we had the resources to build, and we're going to have the resources to build those very soon. And basically we're at a point now with the transaction volume and the number of users that if we did turn on that revenue idea, that we would actually be sustainable and even be profitable. But we're actually just sort of delaying it because it's actually not the most important part of the business right now, because right now we want to make sure people are happy with the new marketplace product and sort out all the problems, issues with that in a way so that we can easily make it better. And, we believe that if we can get, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions of people using Storenvy as their e-commerce platform, that, we're not going to have any problem turning that into revenue for ourselves.
Interesting. Okay, so a couple real quick sort of rapid fire questions regarding kind of some of the features that I think a handmade business person would be interested in knowing if they're available. So is there a convo system similar to on Etsy? It has like an internal conversation system between buyers and sellers. Does that exist so you can talk to people who might be interested in a product but have a question via Storenvy?
There is a way to just fill out a contact form and you'll get an email. We found that to be 99.9% as effective. Having to log in and use someone's messaging system is a little bit clunky unless it's really good, and email is just as good. That being said, I'm sure going to improve that over time and probably have a chat thing. We've had a couple of merchants. One thing you can do is, since you can customize your Storenvy store, you can actually throw in a live chat widget or product onto your store if you want. There's probably a monthly fee attached to that, $10 a month or something. You're not paying us, but there's companies like Olark and a few other live chat tools that you could put on your storefront. And it's not even a Storenvy product. It's your store, and you've customized it to include that.
Right. So Storenvy storefronts are customizable enough that you can actually add widgets that are made by third-party providers and stick them into your site. There
is almost no limit to how customizable Storenvy storefronts are. You can edit 100% of the HTML and 100% of the CSS. You can open it up, and it is a box with code in it if you go into advanced mode. Now, we highly suggest that you don't do that unless you're sort of ready to do that.
Right.
But yes,
but you can
every inch of the page,
and that's amazing. And I've seen some of the shops that I'll link to in the show notes that are just really beautiful and completely unique. Don't look like anything else. So, all right. So another one: can sellers mark items as shipped so that a customer can check on the item status?
Absolutely, we've had that since we launched.
Okay. Can sellers put items on sale? You talked about discount codes. So that's a premium service that you have to pay for, or not yet?
It's $3 a month, but it actually is pretty powerful. So you can set you can mark something as on sale, but all that does is just, so if you're not paying, you can mark something on sale, but all that does is just put a flag on the product that says this is on sale.
Okay.
It doesn't have any kind of back-end logic to it. But if you pay $3 a month, you can give out super discounts, we call them. And that lets you say, when you're creating a discount code, we ask, does this require, when we're creating what we call a promotion, we say, does this require a code? You can actually do promotions that don't require a code. So spend $50 and get free shipping, or spend $50 and get 10% off, something like that. Or you can make it require a code and do all the same logic, like with this code, spend $50 and get free shipping and limit it to 5 uses or whatever. So it's pretty powerful. It's $3 a month. I think you can achieve a lot of the same functionality.
Absolutely. And so with the domain name, if you are using the service for free, you're going to have Abby Glassenberg at Storenvy.
.storenvy.com, yeah.
Okay, that's storenvy.com. And if I pay the additional fee, then I can have it be abbyglassenberg.com.
Right. Or store whatever you want.
Or whatever I want.
You can use a subdomain, a domain, whatever you want to do.
Okay, great. Okay, so is Storenvy easy to use for shoppers as well as for sellers on a tablet, on your phone?
Yeah, so we have, so our marketplace is totally mobile friendly. We have a mobile website for our homepage and for the checkout flow through your store. So the checkout flow is totally customized. The cart will be formatted to mobile devices. We haven't gone back and updated our storefront theme to be mobile yet, but instead of updating the one theme that is sort of so-so, we've actually got quite a bit of awesome stuff coming out with themes.
Okay.
So the focus of the company has been on getting shoppers to do awesome stuff for the past several months. And now we're switching slowly back over to giving more tools to merchants. Interesting.
Okay. What about a feedback system? Like on eBay, on Etsy, people can give feedback. Is there feedback? Right. No feedback? Why?
So our feedback system right now is just how many successful orders have you had? Okay. And as a small team, we spent a lot of time thinking about a feedback system, but with having a much smaller group than a company like eBay or Etsy, feedback systems can actually become very time consuming to manage because people will give negative feedback when you didn't actually do anything wrong, or they're just trying to be manipulative, and there's malicious feedback givers. And instead of us having to manage that, we just weren't ready yet, and we didn't think it would add enough value to the community to dedicate all of our resources to it. And so the first thing we're just trying to see if there's much impact around is if we just show that you've had orders before, does that give buyers confidence? And so we just rolled that out and we're monitoring that right now. I would say within 6 months we'll have a feedback system.
So you think you are headed there?
I think we're headed there. I don't think we'll do it sort of the exact same way as other people have done it, just because I think it gets kind of ugly and people feel like they've been reviewed unfairly and whatnot. We want to avoid that. I would much rather say, how many people have just had a good experience, and if enough people say that they've had a bad experience, then we probably shouldn't let them be on the platform versus showing a bad rating.
So there's a record then that buyers can see of how many items or which items this particular shop has sold up to
just date. How many orders they've had right now. So that you don't feel like you're the first person to take a risk and whatnot. Now, that being said, we also spend a lot of time talking to people that buy on Storenvy and hearing about their experiences. And if anyone's misbehaving, we just take their store down. Like we don't just let them have a bad rating. Like we just don't want people to have bad experiences. So if you're misbehaving, if you're not marking orders as shipped so that people can see it, we usually take action on that.
Okay.
There's some people that don't mark orders as shipped and they just, but they are shipping them, but even that isn't good customer experience. So.
Right. Okay. So what about my last sort of rapid fire question was about statistics. So are there statistics for merchants to see, who's looking, how many people are looking when, all of those things, favoriting or envying items?
Yeah, absolutely. So we give people some pretty nice analytics on their store admin panel dashboard. So when you log in to manage your store, you get all kinds of traffic numbers, most popular products, what countries, what search terms people are using. We also fully integrate with Google Analytics. You can use all the power of Google Analytics on your store, which is honestly much better than we could build because that's not what we do. That's solely. And then also so there's also some new analytics that are becoming important to people. If you go so when you create a Storenvy store, you actually get two stores. You get a custom storefront that's your domain name or whatever you want to do. And then you also get a store in the marketplace. And I guess a good example of this would be getting an Etsy store. And So your marketplace store, it looks like Storenvy. It's our site, but it's got your picture and the name of your store and all your products listed on it. And on that's where all the social stuff happens. So that's where somebody can watch your store, get updates when you add new things, and you can go and see all the users that are watching your store. And so, that's how you can maybe find, if you're a shopper and you like this store, you might be able to go and see like what other stores other users are watching and other things that they've envied and find similar things. And so, a lot of store owners are now trying to like get their watch count up because it makes you look like there's like some activity on your store. So people are tweeting out, watch my store, go watch my store, and they tweet the link to their Storenvy store profile. And so that's becoming a stat people care about as well. It's like having a lot of Twitter followers.
Right. Okay. What about digital fulfillment? So I sell PDF documents. They're sewing patterns. And right now I could pay an outside service to help me automatically email those via my Etsy shop, or I have to email them myself. So I'm wondering, is digital fulfillment something you can hook into, or is that on the horizon, not on the horizon?
It's absolutely on the horizon. We don't have it yet, but what we're really waiting for is so unlike a lot of sort of easy store platforms, we have a very, very robust programming API. So if you're if you know someone who's code savvy, or if you're code savvy, you can build a small website or a small program on the internet somewhere to do cool stuff to your store. So people have done things like make an Etsy importer that'll just suck in all your stuff into a new Storenvy store for you. People have created things that give you special stats. We just launched an integration with a company named ShipStation that lets you print shipping labels and do shipping information. And so that all syncs back and forth. When you mark something as shipped on ShipStation, it marks shipped on our site. And that all happens through the API. So you could, if you knew a code guy, you could easily make a tool for yourself that when an order is placed, it hits that web application, and that just sends an email with the download link to somebody. We've been waiting for a third-party developer to just like hack something together on the weekend, and we could share it out to the network, and people would be really happy. And it would all happen for free. So
yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
that's my biggest time suck on the day-to-day basis.
Yeah. Right now, some people are doing it by email, where they just they get it, they see that they have a sale, and then they send an email with the download link to the customer. And it's amazing how how many hoops our users are willing to jump through until we're able to launch the feature set that we really want to. But people are making it work.
Absolutely. We will make it work, but these things make life a lot easier.
Yeah, I would love for a developer to do that. I mean, you can go to developers.storenvy.com, and you can read all about our API and all the things that you can do with it. We have really great documentation. And so, you could make an application easily that everyone could use to do cool things to their Storenvy store.
That is really, really exciting. Very cool. So is there anything else that you wanted to tell us about? Any features or any future plans or stuff going on right now that you think people should
the biggest thing we're doing right now is hiring. So we're just doing I'm doing a big push to bring on a lot of top tier people. The biggest two things that might be interesting for your audience are we're hiring a new customer support person. We'd love it if they were in San Francisco, but we would entertain people who aren't. And they just have to love. They have to love creative businesses. It'd be great if they've been a creative business. They have great writing skills. You can go to storenvy.com/jobs and read about those. And then we're also just looking for people that are good stylists and have experience in e-commerce. Probably have been in leadership in e-commerce to like really drive sort of the shopping piece of what we're doing. So check out storenvy.com/jobs. As soon as we get some of these roles filled, we're going to start working on a ton of product releases this year, including, we'd love to get to native mobile apps and things like that this year as well.
That's
like an iPhone app and things like that.
Yeah, that's really exciting. And I know you've had a 1,000% increase in sales since the relaunch in December, which is founding.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
It's coming together.
Yeah, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Jon, this has been fantastic and I think really informative and exciting. So thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me.
You got it. Thank you.
All right, take care.
You too.
Bye.